Well, my name is Fransisca Flores. I'm a student here at Hartland, and I'll be sharing my testimony. The best way to start it would definitely be with my family, because my family is such a big part of my life. I am very blessed to come from an Adventist home. I'm the youngest of four with a wide age difference between them. Because I was born into an Adventist family, I got to see more so of the dark side of Adventism, and although I love my family very much, I come from a dysfunctional home where there's a lot of abuse, a lot of pain that surrounded my family that growing up I didn't necessarily recognize, but it was just an environment that I was brought up in. My type of personality is where I love to please. I love to make people happy, and making them laugh or smile is something I love to do. But that's what my Christian walk was made up of, was trying to be good and trying to please people and doing things not because I really, loved this person I had, Jesus, but just because that's what made my parents happy, so that's what I needed to do. And for a time that worked. I grew up in a very liberal home. At that time, my parents had gone through different cycles, but at this time we were more so on the liberal side. But things in my life started to take a shift where I was starting to meet with the hard realities of life. When I was in 5th grade, my grandfather died. In 6th grade, my friend was run over by a car and my uncle was murdered. In 7th grade, my grandfather was murdered. And things were starting to get more so intensified at home. My siblings had all left home at this time. Even my brother that had played a big role in raising me, he left home, and I felt like my dad had left. All of these things started happening one after the other, and I just had this big question, what's going on? I had been taught, go to God, He can help you. And so that's what I did. But yet I wasn't getting anywhere. I felt like there was this iron curtain in front of me, and I was trying to pull it back, trying to get to Him because, I'm in pain, I need you. But yet I felt like God was behind this iron curtain, and no matter what I did, I could not get to Him. And that made me angry. I was angry at God, so I'm like, I'm not going to you. But yeah, I knew another route. And so this led me into a depression. Thankfully, I never tried to commit suicide, but pretty much I didn't want to live anymore. God in His mercy didn't leave me there. He actually used a mission trip of all things. I did not go for the right reasons at all, but God has a funny way of using even these kind of situations to our very own good, and that's what He did for me. On this mission trip, I went to Nicaragua for 3 weeks with Share Him, and I don't know exactly how it happened, but somehow God was able to rip down that iron curtain I had put in front of Him, and showed me in a way that was crystal clear to me that I'm here. I've always been here, and it's not like I'm just watching you in pain. I'm hurting with you. You're not by yourself. I'm gonna be right there with you. And to me, that was like water to a desert. Because that was my biggest thing. How could you leave me alone? How could you abandon me when I'm hurt and I'm in pain? Why? How could you just leave me? That's so cruel. But He said, no, I'm right here. And I promise you, I'm not gonna leave you. I'm gonna go through this with you. That's where my journey with Him really started. Really, not just knowing a lot about Christ, but actually really knowing Him for myself. Things at home were also starting to intensify a lot more. It was almost like our family was in a pressure cooker and I was just waiting for it to spout off. And I was reacting to that as well. Because of a lot of the bad habits I had, when things started to intensify, I went back to what I knew, which is, just going into other things, trying to numb the pain. But God saw the path that I was going down through, and He wasn't going to let me go just like He didn't before. And He knew that I needed something big to stop me in my tracks, because I was going down, and I was going down fast. Yes, I just had this big, beautiful moment with Christ, but the next instant, I'm going down, and I'm going down fast. And my mom realized this, and she was praying, God, what am I going to do? I'm losing my daughter. And God revealed to her, are you willing to go through hell? I can save your daughter, but you're going to have to go through hell to do it. And my mom said yes. And we both had to go through it. My world got turned around, upside down, and ripped to shreds. I remember I had other friends that had had divorces before, and I had overheard my parents bring it up, and I remember that when I had heard that, I was like, Lord, no, you can have anything you want from me, you can have everything you want, but just please don't touch my family, just please don't touch my family. I don't know what I would do if that would happen. And God in His mercy saw fit that that's what it was going to take to bring me back, because I'm just that stubborn. Because of situations at home, it was no longer safe for my mom and I to stay at home. So we left. Just everything that had been stable before was completely gone. We were poor. Like, sometimes we only had $5 to our name. And that's all the money we had. The hardest part for me was having my dad step out of his life. It had felt like it would have been easier if he had actually died, but because he was still alive and stepped out of my life, that really hurt very bad. I actually cried a lot more this year than I did the year before. But the big difference was this time, God was with me. This time I allowed Him to. I remembered, I said, God, you have promised that you'd be here with me. I'm in a lot of pain, and if you don't help me, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But He said, I'm right here, we're gonna go through this right now. And he really stepped in and became like my dad in more ways than one. Even though that year was incredibly hard, I saw God work in so many ways. I had a debt at my school of $7,000, and God paid it off and I didn't have to pay anything so that I could graduate. I saw the gas gauge go up when we had no money for gas, and Mom had to work so that other problems wouldn't arise. And it was also during this time that I got freed from 12 years of demon harassment, which I had never even thought was possible. Yet all these different things of God working in my life in so many incredible ways. I remember one instance especially. I was crying my heart out to God. I was in a lot of pain and just crying and saying, God, it hurts. God, it hurts. And I asked Him, Lord, I know you can't be here. You can't help me be here in person, but I really just need a hug. After that, I forgot about it. I just kept on going without my day. And later on, instance happened where I actually did end up getting ahead, and I heard a still little small voice saying, that was from me. That's my hug. There you go. And I remember I was just, it touched my heart in a very special way, and it didn't happen just once, that's happened twice and other times before. And it's just been a step closer and closer to Him ever since then, and it's been a wonderful journey of healing. Even up to now, being on the farm has done a lot of healing for me. I'm starting to discover really who I am, and discovering things that I really like working with my hands and learning so many things that I had always wanted to learn. Working with the plants, helping them grow, is been teaching me a lot on how I've been growing, as well as how I can help other people grow as well. Besides, of course, learning practical skills. God's with you. He's not afar off, but He can feel your pain, and He's not going to leave you alone. And yes, it seems like there's a lot of clouds surrounding you right now, but God promises there's going to be blue sky. And I can testify that blue sky does come, just as He has promised. And even when you go through those waters, He's going to be with you, and you will come out on the other side.